Hello, I'm Mantastic and Fantastic, and today I'm going to be talking about the Sonia Elle ranking tournament that is occurring right now in North America. So the Sonia Elle tournament is a wonderful opportunity for players to achieve a crown at 6%, as well as a valuable card, Sonia Elle, at 26%. However, this dungeon prevents you from actually using any assists or inherits, so we have to be somewhat creative with our team building compositions. Now, this article will highlight some strategies and things to keep in mind when team building to try and build a successful run that will hopefully yield you a crown. So more dungeon information can be found through my website and PadX here. So I have recorded one run, which I have uploaded to YouTube. It got me 138,504, and it was 0.9 and went to 0.8 later on during the day. This is kind of in the morning, afternoon. So that is a very safe score, and you kind of see what it might look like. Yes, there are lots of skyfalls, but we're not going to watch a YouTube video in a YouTube video because I don't totally get double the ad revenue, right? So no assists. So no assists means that basically we have to build the team that we actually want to use. We cannot actually have any inherits, so we have to bring enough skill boost, enough skill bind resist, and we also need to have some way of achieving cloud resist. Now, because ranking dungeons are completed in solo mode, we have access to super awakenings, which means that we can acquire cloud resist through several different cards. So as with any ranking dungeon, the score breakdown is as follows. So each combo, basically each average combo is 5,000 points. Each second remaining is 500. Hitting the 40 million damage cap is 10,000 points, and it scales down if you hit below. And then each active skill used to kill the floor, so no matches being made, like using like true damage or a laser, is minus 5,000 points. Now, the Sonia Elle tournament has 9 floors in total, and that means our actual combo count is somewhat devalued. So for each combo made on a specific floor, that is worth basically 5,000 divided by 9, or 555.56 points. So you can kind of see that, like, imagine if this was a 5-floor dungeon, or a 6-floor dungeon, for instance. If a 6-floor dungeon, it'd be worth 833 points per combo. So that means basically, if you're doing all 9 floors, you have to match at least one combo every second, and actually probably a little bit faster in all honesty, to really keep abreast of the time remaining. But because this dungeon has several floors which you can actually button, you are able to kind of push down the number of actual floors counted for the combo. So like I said, 9 floors is only 555 points per combo, whereas 6 floors means each combo is worth 833 points. And we can definitely inflate this combo count through those buttons or true damage, as well as utilizing a 7x6 board. So in the Sonia Elle ranking tournament, you want to bring several key components. Now, this is not necessary. This is a good template to kind of build your team building around. It doesn't mean you have to have the exact cards. There are multiple different options which are very helpful. So basically, the best way to pad your overall and total combo count is to utilize a 7x6 leader, because now instead of 30 orbs, you have 42. So instead of 10, 14 possible combos on a board. Furthermore, Ilmina, as well as her skill at Melissa, provide you with true damage, but a delicious bicolor board at the same time. So bicolor boards on a 7x6, which Ilmina does provide, gives you the maximum possible number of combos that can be solved in a fast and efficient manner. And this is very important. So everyone can find an Ilmina friend to pair with. So everyone should have access to Ilmina. And Ilmina is probably the most valuable card at this point because, well, 4 skill boosts, true damage, and a bicolor board changer. Now, as I already mentioned, the dungeon itself is 9 floors long, but 3 of the floors can be easily buttoned with anything that has a true damage value. You can do 4 buttons if you have your own Ilminas, you have Grimjar, Brachydios. Like, there are special setups for that, but that is a lot harder to achieve for the average player. It's just something that's not realistic, so I'm not going to necessarily be focusing on that. But like, as I mentioned, like, 3 of the floors can be buttoned, and 2 of them are back-to-back. So you actually can bring 2 Ilmina-style board changers. So one as your friend, one as a skill-up fodder, or an Ilmina if you're lucky enough to own one, which means you button the floor, execute it, and then you have this bicolor board for the next floor in order to match fast and efficiently. So it's a great way to basically pad your score overall. And yes, the 5,000 penalty may seem imposing, but when you button, you go significantly faster, as well as helping achieve a higher average combo count overall, especially when you utilize bicolor board changers. In addition to all of that, we need to have a counter to resolve because floor 2 has a resolve component. Now, you can use a follow-up attack awakening, but a follow-up attack awakening requires you to have a column of 6 hard ups, which will be time-consuming to match. There is an extra animation, blah, blah, blah. So the most efficient way to actually achieve this is actually utilize gravity, and more specifically a 25 or 30% gravity, and that will basically enable you to push below the resolve threshold, then you combo as normal and you sweep the floor and you're happily on your way. And the best and also budget-friendly solution is Christmas Hera. She has a 13-turn cooldown, the gravity we need, a skill boost, and the delicious and all-important Cloud Resist Awakening, because we need Cloud Resist Awakenings for this tournament because the final floor spawns an obnoxious amount of clouds. So something like Avalon Drake, Christmas Hera, Reincarnated Lucifer, like there are options where you can find Cloud Resist, but Christmas Hera is farmable, is tradable, so it's probably going to be one of the most accessible options overall for the average player. So taking all of that into consideration, what are some things we need to have for our team building comp? So in order to have the example of Christmas Hera's 30% gravity ready in time for floor 2, our team must have 12 skill boosts or 11 plus the skill boost badge because we get floor 1's combo and then we get 1 turn charge up and then we need to use the gravity then. So obviously make sure you count your combos then. So obviously it may be quite tempting to utilize Whale Door, but remember Whale Door's active skill is not as guaranteed. So if you have Avalon Drake, obviously bring Avalon Drake because they have the skill boost and the bicolor board changer. But Whale Door's Skyfall generating active skill can be helpful because it can help pad your overall combo count if you're matching bicolors. It's a reasonable alternative solution. In addition to that, you need to make sure you have enough skill bind resist. Otherwise, you have to use a skill bind resist badge to basically ensure you can achieve full immunity, but try and get as close as possible. Remember, having enough skill boosts is more important because if you can't gravity floor 2, you're not going to get a high score. And then in regards to alternative leader pairings, because we're going to be matching with Ilmina Friend, you can use regular Ilm, you can use Yogg, you can use even any combo-based leader like Anubis or Blue Hunter, or even Leyland. There are options, like you can utilize a wide variety of cards, but just make sure you have something that has a high enough multiplier, and ideally a bi-elemental board changer overall. So just to really reiterate, if you lack the more ideal leader pairings, use anything with a high combo-based multiplier such as Anubis. There are many alternatives, Dark Ideal works, so on and so forth. So this is assuming a very generic setup, but basically you can bring in 3 bicolor board changers. So you're going to have to still vanilla combo 2 floors, assuming you have 3 buttons. So floor 1, you do combo or your bicolor. Just combo means you just combo the board. Floor 2, you do your gravity and then your combo / bicolor. Floor 3 is combo bicolor. Floor 4 is combo or bicolor. So basically between floor 1 and floor 4, 2 of those are bicolored and 2 of those are brute force matched with gravity being used on floor 2. Floor 5, it has high defense, low health, so you actually utilize Ilmina or Melissa. And then floor 6, you just use a regular true damage, something that does not modify your board whatsoever in order for you to actually execute it and still retain that Ilmina board changer, so it gives you more time to plan and think your move as you're moving forward. Floor 7, you're just solving the bicolor that you've generated from floor 5. Floor 8, you just use Ilmina or your Melissa at this point in time. Then you execute the low health spawn, and then on the final floor with your Cloud Resist, you can solve the bicolor board. And that's a pretty standard generic template, and it works quite consistently. Like, it should be enough provided you have the team and you can puzzle reasonably fast to achieve a high score. So, will North America outpace Japan? So, when I wrote this article at the very beginning of the morning, it's hard to say whether or not we would, but we are definitely going to be passing Japan's cutoff. So, yes, Japan's crowning 6% cutoff we have surpassed at this point in time. It's 127, basically 128,000 in Japan. We've already passed that. This is because we have more information, we have more options for team building, we have more Cloud Resist capabilities. But another thing you have to keep in mind is North America, because we have these team templates ready to go, we tend to spike up very fast, and then we plateau a little bit harder, generally speaking, compared to Japan, just because a lot of players have the right team now. They just kind of hit their so-called physical limitations or walls, so to speak. So again, these ranking results from Japan may not necessarily be an accurate representation, but again, a crown Japan was 128, which we've passed on day 1, and Sonia Elle is 98,000. That may be a little different, possibly it may be higher. I'm not 100% sure how the tracking for that percentage is going at this point in time. So, in conclusion, this Sonia Elle tournament does give players a nice opportunity to acquire a crown, and obviously if you have the right team, it becomes significantly easier. The more bicolors and buttons you actually have at your disposal, the easier time you will have. So, with that being said, you still can achieve a high-end crowning score without the perfect team. Like, I used Anubis and I only had 2, not 3 bicolored boards, and I still got 135,000 plus, so it is definitely doable. So let me know what you used in the comments below, as well as what kind of success you found thus far. Hopefully you'll have a fantastic day. I wish you all the best of luck in your own pad adventures, and happy puzzling.